Monday, late morning, kind of early afternoon, some news drops that Quinshon Judkins, the former Ohio State running back, he was with them on the run to the national championship last season. It's possible he might try to make a return to college after being drafted in the NFL draft in the third round by the Cleveland Browns. Now, if you recall, Quinshon Judkins got himself into a little bit of trouble after being drafted, where apparently the story goes is he was driving down to Florida with a woman, and she alleges that there was some domestic violence that happened, and it was not reported at least for 2 or 3 days later. I believe it was. At first, they were saying that there was probable cause in this, but then later on, there was prosecutors said that there was, quote, no reasonable likelihood of conviction in the case against the rookie running back. Now we are getting information that Quinshon Judkins did not report to training camp, and now
with him not being at training camp at all, a return to college could be on the table. Now, from everything we know with college football, college athletics, and everything else, this would clearly be against the rules. You look up the rule book for the NCAA, bylaw 12.2.4.2, the players lose their amateur status. You go to 12.2.2.2.4, loss of eligibility once they're drafted. Once they enter into the draft. There are a number of bylaws here that would prevent Quinshon Judkins from coming back to the NCAA college football. However, with the case that happened recently with the West Virginia judge who allowed the eligibility to remain for certain players to continue to play on the West Virginia football team, there is some speculation that he could possibly be able to come back to college football. As you and I both well know, this is, this is no secret in college football right now, but the NCAA is losing court case after court case after court case. Now, they've been doing pretty good in some of these eligibility cases. If you remember, Caden Robinson, DJ Wingfield, the UCLA wide receiver, the USC offensive lineman, they did not win to be able to come back. Lewis Moore for Indiana did. These situations are nothing like Quinshon Judkins. I'm just quoting situations where they won eligibility cases to be able to come back or lost them. So it's kind of been up in the air a little bit ever since Diego Pavia basically tried to get his junior college days to just go away, and so he still had eligibility to play in the FBS. There is now conversation that could continue to happen more. This would probably be the biggest case. We had a little bit of rumblings with this, with I believe it was Texas A&M linebacker that was drafted to the Bengals. That really ended up not going anywhere at all. We did have some rumblings with it and everything because he was back at the Texas A&M facilities working out and everything going on there. So that one had a little bit more juice to it, especially since this one is happening right after week 0 has happened in college football. Now, if for some reason Quinshon Judkins was able to play and there was no court rulings or even if a court ruling just happened very quickly, then he could play right away if Ohio State or somebody else wanted to add him to doing that. The only situation here, though, is that, one, I don't think you're going to get a court ruling or anything to go, in your favor this quickly, number one. And number two, the NCAA is not super solid on a lot of things, and they don't win in court very often. But this is one that's never been challenged before, really. Nothing super major. This is something that we have never really seen happen because the rules are just so pretty solid and concrete on this. Even if you have eligibility remaining, you forfeit that eligibility once you A, enter into the draft, B, are drafted, C, it shouldn't have anything to do with the signing of the contract or anything. So let's look really fast. This is where all this was coming from. Pro Football Focus, Pro Football Talk. This is the Mike Florio website, as you can see him there in the video. But basically, during the draft, a question emerged regarding whether quarterback Shedeur Sanders could come back, at least in theory, with the Browns not signing running back Quinshon Judkins, the 36th pick in the 2025 draft with NFL investigating potential punishment under the personal conduct policy could have tried to return to college football for another season. In theory, he still could. NCAA rules remain under siege in the antitrust violations. Last week, a federal judge issued a preliminary injunction for 4 West Virginia players who have been denied an eligibility waiver for the 2025. For Judkins, the issue isn't whether he has lingering eligibility, it's whether he can use it after declaring for the draft and being drafted. If the player never signs an NFL contract, Judkins has not, why shouldn't he be able to return to college? Again, this is a situation where this would take so long. Now, is it possible that this could go to court and, it could take a long process and Judkins could possibly come back next season? Possibly, I guess. You take him to court. Like I said, these rules seem pretty concrete, but the NCAA specializes in losing in court right now. So I cannot imagine that Quinshon Judkins would return to Ohio State or just college football in general this season. It seems like the court case and everything would just take far too long for that to happen in order to make this happen. And B, I don't think Ohio State is going to want to try and do that. If Quinshon Judkins is going to return to college football, it's most likely going to happen at another school with the way Ohio State kind of operates and how they kind of plan for the future and everything else. I suppose maybe a transfer portal thing happens and Ohio State loses some players. They do have a young running back room, but overall, I think this is a situation where you're looking at Quinshon Judkins. Very, very unlikely he plays this year. Very unlikely that he comes back to college football. In general, it's a neat little thought process, news story here, but I can't see this one happening. What do you think? Do you think that he could come back to college football? Do you think that Quinshon Judkins has, a spot here to be able to do that? Do you see something in the NCAA bylaws? And by no means a, bylaw expert or anything like that, but do you see something in there that you think he could challenge the NCAA in court and be able to come back? It's going to be an interesting discussion. I don't anticipate anything happening this year. However, you never know. The NCAA, like I said, they specialize in losing in the court cases, and Judkins already won in court once, so maybe he'll win again. We'll see. But if I'm an Ohio State fan and I'm looking at this, thinking about Quinshon Judkins coming back, I'm not even worrying about it. You got James Peoples, you got C.J. Donaldson, you got players on this team. You got Bo Jackson, the true freshman, which, by the way, did you know his first name is actually Lamar? His parents named him Lamar Bo Jackson. What a crazy, crazy name. Now, I think when he was born, Lamar Jackson was probably like 12, so they didn't know. But still, I mean, this is the risk you run with middle names of professional athlete. Who knows? You might just get the one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL to get that same name too. Who knows? It's kind of crazy. But anyway, let me know what you think about this whole situation. It's pretty crazy. It's interesting to think about what could happen next. Thanks for listening. Have a good one.